Ta-da! Welcome to Joseph's Hi-Fi. This is video number 3. Today we're going to be talking about the room. This will be a shorter video than the others. I assure you it should be. Needless to say, I will be editing this one a little bit. I sort of want to split it up a bit so you can sort of see different things. So I'll sort of cut it accordingly. But we'll get started here. So welcome to the room. Here's the hi-fi. I know, can you believe it? It's materialized. You've been patient, you've waited for 2 videos, and look, it is here, and we will get into it. It's a magnificent unit. But needless to say, we're just going to briefly talk about the room. So, as I said, we built this house. It's taken us about 2.5 years to get it officially built, and it's got a few little secret weapons in it. But before we even had a plan or a design, the hi-fi was always going to feature in its own place, which we could call the formal lounge, if you like. So let's just talk about it. Look, the room is slightly smaller than we wanted, and I only mean smaller by maybe 1 meter by meter, if that. I wouldn't have minded slightly higher ceilings, but being in a cyclone area that we are, I had kind of logic to why I didn't want to necessarily make it any bigger. But it really does work well. And as you well may tell from the sound, I try to keep it quite a flat room. There's a lot of plush carpet, goes without saying, and a lot of soft furnishings, and we still need to dress the windows accordingly, and as a result, that'll add more to it. But at the moment, it sounds fantastic. But a little bit about this room. It's not just a room, it's actually 2 rooms that have been put together. It's actually like a bandpass subwoofer enclosure. So what we have is 5 by 5 meters here, and directly upon the other side, it's a double-sided fireplace, is another 5 by 5 meters that has been mirrored there. Of course, that side does have a tiled floor, but at the end of the day, it creates this chamber where, as I was doing it, I was quite prepared to be installing bass traps behind the speakers. I thought I might have to do more acoustical treatment to the room. Actually, I didn't need it, where I thought I might end up with muddy bass and all the rest of it. That completely is eradicated because of the shape of the room. And I did draw inspiration from my younger years when I did do SPL and subwoofer enclosures and the alike. So that's a theory that comes into there. I didn't sort of want to have those standing wave signals that are quite common in venues we go to and all the rest. So that's why, hence this type of shape that we have. So yes, of course we can move the speakers off the wall. That sounds even better. They are quite good where they are because size is a key factor in this room. So it is what it is, and there will be some slightly smaller speakers here in time, but we'll get to that in the speaker video, of course. It goes without saying, the room, I did, and we'll talk about this in the next video with the cabinet, but in actual fact, where the hi-fi actually lives itself and with the cabinet, this was still part of the actual build process. So actually there are steel rods that are anchored into the concrete foundation of the house and reinforced against on the frame of the house, so that there's no issue with vibration on the turntable. There will never be an issue with it dipping or sagging, or everything's always going to be level. That's always an important thing. I think we can agree with that, especially if we were to step up and monoblocks or something else. I really wanted something that will stand the test of time. I'm sick of seeing people. I didn't want cabinets. Again, that's a cabinet video. I didn't want to have just a standard sort of hodgepodge, a mess of cables everywhere, and that just end up sinking into the carpet. And anyway, needless to say, so we move on from there. But we do have a secret weapon in this room. So we're going to cut the video here and swing the camera around and just have a quick talk about the secret weapon, if you like, in the room. Of course, the room does have the coffered ceilings just to sort of lift it up a bit. Again, just give it a little more dynamics to it. And of course, insulation has been doubled throughout all the walls behind it, including the paneling. There are no vibrations or anything like that. In fact, during the build, once this was being put together, we actually rolled in 2 of the 18-inch PA subwoofers that we use. We coupled them together along with 12-inch cabinet. We put it together and we ran about a 2-minute slower type frequency sweep, just to try and spot if there were any type of unusual noises or anything, even created from things such as the chandelier. At the end of the day, we did really want to go with a crystal or glass. In actual fact, this is a plastic at the end of the day, and even through when we started trickling down 120 hertz and below, there was none of that horrible type of vibration that other places have, and that went through with a lot of extra framing that went through to really not just make in the house overall, but really to make this room solid. Right, so here we are on the other side of the room, and as mentioned, a fireplace. And as I said, all the good music coming up from there, and Highway to Hell and all the rest of it. Again, we're not about religion, but it's ironic how these things sort of keep turning up like that. So it's a secret weapon, in my opinion. It's not just the beautiful aesthetics of having a fireplace going and snuggling up on a cool night and listening to some great tunes and all the rest of it. But it's got to be this stonework, which is the real secret weapon. At the end of the day, this was the stonework that was supposed to go up with its beautiful shimmering quartz that sparkles away there. And of course, the builder miscalculated by 1.5 meters, where we had this wall done, the other one not quite, it didn't match up, and here we are. So we have to go with this. That's why the color palette on the wall and the stone bench tops on the bar sections don't quite match, because it was originally another color. But these are things we have to live with. We're not in the perfect world, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. But Secret Weapon acoustically is about this. Now, it's mirrored exactly the same on the other side of the room, and the whole idea is it acts like an almost unlimited baffle. So as the noise comes across, it's splayed away and split into millions of directions the reflections happen. You haven't sort of got those constant issues where sometimes you have in rooms where you're on an EQ just trying to sort out problems. We don't have any of this. The sound just hits it and goes off in all directions. And it's certainly something that works in my favor. Some may argue the fact that there's too much reflection, that's too much hardness against it. I said the carpet, the furnishings, all the rest of it. And as you can probably hear in the video, apart from that horrible little popping I know exists with this microphone, what do you expect with a $4 microphone at the moment in this application? Again, no studio production, just shoot and get it up onto YouTube. But more importantly is just the fact that we do get this nice even balanced sound in the room, and that's what it was all about. And this can certainly not be a bad thing working in our favor with that, where people will put acoustical treatments. Again, we haven't done any artwork or anything in this room or something like that, but the whole idea is to just try and keep it in as flat and as neutral as possible. And that's pretty much the story you see here. I will make mention, this was always going to be a key feature in the house because both my wife and I do love Christmas. Of course, this is at the moment, what are we, July, and she is just about to start decorating for the year. So she really does love Christmas, and I salute her for it. She did want the fireplace. Now, separate to our HVAC ducted system in the rest of the house, we do have a secondary split system here, whose sole purpose is that if she wants the fireplace on at Christmas time, by all means she can have it on, and we can put that on to justify and keep it cool. I know first world problems, tell me about it, but at the end of the day, she's always wanted it, and at the end of the day, well, happy wife, happy life. I told you. Needless to say, it's a tremendous thing that we have got going on. We absolutely love it, and it works really, really well. Again, we're in Queensland. When it is Christmas time, it's usually sort of 30 to 40 degrees. What's that, about 100, 120 in Fahrenheit for those in the other countries. It gets sticky and hot. So, hence why we have that. Again, might not look aesthetically pleasing, but everything we do does serve a purpose. And here we are again, back on the other side of the room, where we are now going to conclude this video. Of course, the next video we're going to be covering will be all about the cabinet. It's not exactly the first choice in cabinet we wanted to go with, but we're going to learn all about that. Some great little surprises to be had, needless to say, and also in there, cables and interconnects will be coming up shortly after that one as well. But in the meantime, sit back and relax, and we'll welcome you all to the cabinet video in the next one. Thanks again.